Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MEyou Music Podcast. Joining us this week, we've got Derek Sampson and Eli Cutting from Lattermath. How's it going, guys?
But
We're uh we're just hanging in there, man. Just
Yeah, doing good.
doing the thing. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, doing very well, man.
Yeah.
Happy 2013.
Cool.
Oh,
2023.
2023. Oh my God, yeah.
If it was 2013,
Jesus.
that'd be cool though. Because
Where did the
Yeah,
years
go
go?
back.
Where did them 10 years go? Jesus, they've just flown past. I
Yeah,
don't even
right.
know
Things were a lot simpler then, yeah.
No, man.
They were a lot
Fine.
more simple then,
Yeah.
but there was no ladder math back then, so you gotta weigh up the pros and the cons.
Well, technically it existed, but we just didn't have any music out until 2017. So
It took a bit
Right.
to get that first album
Yeah.
out, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I swear
like,
I've had Eli on Facebook for a long time. I can't think of how long we've been on Facebook for, but I've definitely seen Lattermath around for a while. I didn't actually
Yeah.
know Derek was
Yeah.
involved until more recently, to be honest with you.
really, yeah. I mean, I guess I just didn't really talk about it much when I was out there playing Tech Fest and stuff with Drew and
Yeah,
doing all that shit. So
yeah.
That wasn't really-
busy doing other brain shit, you know.
Yeah, but it's been a project we've been working on for quite a while, and it's still just a thing that he lives in New England and I live in the Midwest, so he comes over here a couple times a year, and
Yeah.
we just hang out in my studio, or if you want to call this a studio, it's literally just a room, but
Yeah.
we just hang out in here for a couple weeks and work on music and make video content and stuff. So we try and do this a couple times a year, and yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of where we're at.
no, that's cool, man.
It's a real cool project. Like, I was going to say that, like, when I was listening through the new album from literally just gone, isn't it? 13th was it? Came
Yeah,
out
congratulations came out what
The 12th.
days ago?
12. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
3
wasn't
days
sure.
ago.
Maybe.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's we've been working on it for a while, and we had a lot of setbacks with it, like the pandemic, obviously.
So many setbacks even before the pandemic.
Yeah, and just kind of like issues with just all of us being on the same page, since we do kind of live sort of scattered about. But yeah, we're all super happy with it. It was it's a culmination of a few years of balls to the wall, like writing and recording, and finally
Yeah.
it's
At
finally
long last, it's exactly the way we wanted it to be. I
yeah
feel like the first album, there was stuff I was still nitpicking a little bit, like what could have been better. But I think with this album, like, I'm really happy with our end product, and I've never said that before, so it's really refreshing.
I
That's
think it's
brilliant.
kind of like it's
Yeah.
kind of the record we've been trying to make like all along, but
Yeah.
we just never really.
I
I
listened
don't
to
know. I
it.
guess it takes
I
like
listened to it I finished it about half an hour ago, the new album.
Cool.
And
Cool.
I've really enjoyed it. It seemed a lot calmer than the last album you guys did. It was more focused on prog and the musicality rather than just the sheer heaviness.
Yep.
Whereas the last
Totally,
album
yeah.
was way more brutal, it's so much heavier.
Yeah.
And this one was
Yeah,
way more
absolutely.
technicality. There was so much more melodic textures involved. And you've got some like really cool collabs. Like I instantly heard Lee Mintz's voice in the first track when he started singing. I was
Yep.
like,
Yep.
yeah, I noticed that he was on one of our podcast episodes. And since then, I've really got into Minerva and Grey Lotus quite a lot. And so it's quite
yeah.
recognizable.
Yeah, man.
Recognizable voice.
Incredible
I
music. Absolutely.
really liked the song Nye from you guys. It was had really mathy elements, really nice.
Do you want to tell the story about
Yeah.
Nice? So yeah,
Thank you so much.
There's a funny story about that song that Eli's
It's actually the first song that Derek and I ever wrote together, and it was just sort of like we're sort of gelling and just like, I like your ideas, I like your ideas, and then we just like literally.
So the idea for that song is like 13 years old.
Yeah, it's like the first ever song, and we just like sat down for 9 solid hours, just smoking weed constantly, and just like riff after riff after riff, and we just knew from there on, like, okay, we got a sound here.
It's
like,
gone through a bunch of iterations over the years, and obviously it wasn't on the first record because it didn't really fit with that material. So we just kind of like saved it in our back pocket all this time. And
so it's one of the songs that I was the most curious about what people would think, because I think it sort of stands alone in its own individual sound. I mean, a lot of the songs in this album kind of have their own vibe, but that one I was really curious what people would think.
That one really stood out for the music side for me. So I'm quite glad that it's the one with the big backstory. It's also your artist piece. It's quite funny. I would say that, like, for me, the vocals of the first two songs really stood out the most. There's a lot of vocal melodic lines which really shifted and were very unique and creative. Whereas with Nye and even the latter half of the album, there was more of the musical element where you're focusing more on the instrumentality of it. So it's a really
right.
Yeah, I really like that.
Man.
And then with Desolation, I watched the video as well, which was kind of that like standard creepy video from a metal band, which you'd expect.
Had to do one.
You gotta do the quintessential. Exactly. We'll make the single out of like one of the most depressing tracks on the album. Like, it's what you do. It's metal, so
it's one of the heavier ones too. So,
heavier too, yeah.
We decided to kind of make it a little darker, and
But it was also meant to be cathartic too when you feel those feelings of depression, either in the moment or actually clinical depression. Just like trying to help people feel cathartic about those emotions and not dwell in them. But it's always been kind of my little credo and stuff, is try not to dwell in negative emotions. You have to address them and then sort of try to move on into a more optimistic trajectory.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah. But I want music to at least display that. Yeah.
It also gives a sense that you're not alone in that, where we all go through the stage of accepting that, and we have to actually learn to be in the different emotions because they all exist. They're always there. It's not like
normalizing the full spectrum.
No one goes through life without feeling any unhappiness. It's it's accepting that we have a wide spectrum of emotions.
That's the whole point. It's just showing the full spectrum of emotions and normalizing them all, and just like we're all just human. That's what we're trying to do sonically, really. Yeah.
It's hard to do. Not an easy thing to get across in any way, but being able to do it like the way you guys have done it, with having sort of a heavier album and then like a more melodic and progressive one. It's you are capturing as much as you can throughout that. Like I kind of listen to albums on a full. I don't really pick out songs too often until I've listened to it 10, 20, 30, 40 times, depends. But
that's a great way to do it.
You've got quite a like it's like Tesseract but more progressive, and then it's got that like I don't know, it's got that edge to it with that progressiveness, I guess, and then the melodies between all of that progression is all like weirdly jagged but also extremely smooth because it's prog, I guess. One of those, like,
because it's prog.
I get what you're saying.
Well, it is. It's one of those things. It's great.
We always try to have the jagged edge sort of thing with like the irregular time signatures, but then we love groove as well. So just you don't want to do too much.
We want to keep it a little weird here and there when we can, and make it kind of just to maintain. Like even on the first record, there's some points where we get a little weird with it, and like we like to just kind of incorporate that into everything, and we don't want to lose that about it.
But then not too Dillinger escape playing, just interrupting and I love that. But I want people to headbang sometimes too, but not just 4/4 either. So
we want to like be accessible, but also write cool, unique stuff that we want to hear. So it's like it's a tough balance.
Cohesive.
All the construct of just keeping that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All while keeping that emotional intensity there.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So do you guys have like a tour lined up for 2023 with the new album?
Not currently. We've got a bunch of stuff in the works. seeing as how we're a bit scattered and you know, logistically it's kind of a nightmare for us to do things like that, although we do plan on it. And we want to, I don't know, there's a few things that we're going to do. We've got a bunch of like content related things that we're going to be working on the next few months.
Right, yeah.
And then this spring we do all plan to get together and rehearse a bunch of material, so we can get all, you know, ready to go. And once we get to that point, then we'll be able to you know, do a thing here and there. And we'd really like to, you know, I think our stuff would do really well out where you guys are at in the UK and Europe and stuff. I think the prog scene in those countries is like a lot more prominent than it is out here in the States.
Night and day.
Yeah. There, you know, like there are prog bands here, obviously. You got like Contortionist and like, you know, big bands like that. But
like who else?
Yeah, you know, like I said to him the other day, I was like, hey man, name like as many big prog bands from the States that you possibly can. And
that are
like,
still together.
Yeah, and he, you know, like the list is pretty short. And then like, you know, when you say in Europe, it's like all of a sudden this list is crazy long and there's like lots of bands doing stuff. And
you see the lineup for Tech Fest and Euroblast and stuff, you're like, wow, like you would never see that in America, the amount of awesome prog bands in a row. You know? Yeah.
So, you know, we're just trying to figure out like where we'll fit in, you know.
Well,
right now I think we're fixated on.
What's up? Sorry.
Arctangent's another really great one. You guys should.
Arctangent, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to get out there and play like the festival circuits and stuff, and you know, it's all we really want to do. You know, like if we could, like we'll gladly go out and do tours and do all this, that, the other thing. We just want it to be like the right, you know, the right situation, the right fit, so we can like logistically make it work for us. And
I'm sure if you could get yourselves over to Europe, you would easily be accepted into these festivals with a new album.
I mean that's what I think, right?
That's what's kind of we're fixated on right now. Is like we'd love to get on tours and stuff, but right now we just want to get as many new listeners as we possibly can. Since we had such a long hiatus between album 1 and album 2, we have to just, you know, get our reach out again and fight the algorithm, so to speak.
Sort of had to, in some ways we kind of had to start from scratch a little bit.
You
know, because we had, you know, a little bit of hype built up like 5-6 years ago, but because we did some touring back then, and obviously the last 5 years have been a fucking shit show for everybody. So I mean, it's been like, you know, it's been tough kind of getting back into it, and the algorithms online have changed quite a bit too. So social media is a lot different than it was then, and like promoting stuff is like more difficult now than it ever has been. Really,
it seems like self-promotion in general is treated as spam. I don't know. It seems very difficult to promote.
It's an oversaturated market, but you also can't seem to push it out to everyone.
Exactly. There's just so much going on, and you know, it's just it's tough. It's oversaturated, and I feel like the only way to really kind of get ahead these days is to like, I don't know, sort of become like a meme lord or whatever the hell, and like, you know, like we're not really trying to like do that, you know, like we don't want to be like shit posters. Like
I noticed that with like bands, and no disrespect to them because I quite like them, but like Vulvodynia and bands like that, which are just constantly shooting memes on every random post. To boost
I fucking love those guys though.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, so do I. But it's just hilarious. That is their marketing strategy. It's just a shit post on absolutely everything.
But it works.
Yeah, man.
It did work for them for sure, but not everyone wants to do that.
No,
it's working for a lot of people. Like, you know,
is it? I always feel like their memes are doing well, but then are people actually following the band afterwards?
Okay,
like
right. I know someone that this has literally worked for. Okay, he paid for a $10 post. As like that was his marketing, and then he was like, right, fuck this, I'm just gonna shit post, and now he's got like thousands of listeners a month and all sorts of shit. Like, yeah, just literally it works.
So the answer is yes, it does work if you do it the right way.
It does work. Yeah, and I know like, you know, John Matos from Abiotic, do you guys know?
Oh yeah.
He does a lot of really like cool, you know, like it's goofy meme shit, but it's him playing guitar to like, you know, it's almost akin to that riffified thing that Isaac does, but it's like a little bit different. It's like kind of his own and that's cool, man, and that definitely helps Abiotic. I think that gets them more listeners, and he's, you know, super persistent with it. So like, you know,
some of his reels have like over 1 million hits. I'm just like, wow, dude,
You know, there was we had this guy.
It does help the abiotic.
We had this guy in the MEyou Weirdos group called, well, his like artist name was Heliocentric, and he released his solo album called Ishmael, and he was doing all these meme videos, just sharing it to our group. Every single time one came up, I was just crying with laughter because it was so ridiculous.
Really?
And
I kind of want to check that out.
I could probably show you in a second. I can show screen share.
Ishmael's a good book, so I'm sure that's what
it's a great album
he's
as well.
Heliocentric
He is brilliant,
fantastic.
and because of these hilarious videos that he was sharing, like I had to just buy the album straight up. I thought it was too funny, and that allowed me to actually discover the album as well, just through his hilarious videos, which is quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's still doing hilarious stuff now. He when he picks up a scam call, he'll just like have a riff at the ready, and he'll just be like, "Are you guys ready? What was it you wanted?" And then he just start playing like some crazy, ridiculous stuff. Be like, "So was that it?
Yeah.
Was that your answer?"
Yeah. Hell
All
yeah.
right.
Good stuff.
I'm gonna do the baby shower video. Hold up. All right, let's do it.
But yeah, seriously, bro, I pop jewel pods like Tic Tacs.
Can you guys hear
Anyway,
that?
I was thinking, once lockdown is over, we gotta start planning our first live shows, and I've got the perfect idea for where we can start doing our first gigs.
I'm all ears.
Baby showers.
I already don't like this video.
Bro, it's an untapped market.
Probably for good reason.
Bro, I'm telling you, every couple hires one of these knockoff Mumford & Son bands to come and play at their gender reveal parties or whatever, but statistically speaking, 23% of those little biscuits are gonna grow up to be metalheads and gent kids.
I just don't think it'll go over
We've
well.
got Club Penguin in the background.
We go to a baby shower. We play a riff so loud, so heavy, that it makes the woman's water break.
Dude, what in the hell?
What? People pay good money to induce a woman into labor. We're just doing it with some artistic flair.
Okay. Did you have any other big ideas?
Well, I thought that was a great one, but whatever.
But yeah, seriously, bro.
Yeah, so
Oh,
after
Dude, that's ridiculous.
yeah, he did quite a few. And when they was shared with us, I just couldn't have laughed any harder. I had to buy it.
makes me think of the redneck video by Lamb of God, right? And it's just like, let's get this.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, actually. I went to Berkeley, and somebody asked me to do. They had these things for the music production and engineering majors where you had to record a song as close to the original as possible. And somebody did Lamb of God Redneck, and they asked me to do the screaming part. And I think he got an A. That was cool. It was a lot of fun to do.
Tom,
you can do
Tom, you've
that.
inspired me.
Yeah,
You know, there's
do it.
that.
Inspired.
yeah.
You know, you can do them courses where you redo the mixes.
Oh my god, so sore.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know, as far as like the meme stuff goes, like, man, like I've just never really seen us as like that type of, you know, band, but like we've been talking about it the last few days, and we're just like, dude, maybe we should just like post some, you know, some like funny shit and like just some stuff that's just like us being just goofy, you know, because like
I think it's like you got to really create that online
Be like
presence
yourselves.
and really be your own personality. You're not just an artist anymore. You're a whole like personality that has to showcase themselves. You have to be active and
that's
do on social media. You know, whereas like
that's what we were talking about.
You still like could do it with if you want to be more traditional with just like a lot of live shows to gain that following. But if you would build yourself through the social way, then that's kind of the way it's heading right now. Because people's attention span's quite short as well. You know, they don't want to sit.
It is, yeah,
an entire song.
It is.
And
we write, you know, like we write. We're a prog band. Our songs are pretty long, man. Like there's we like struggle to write shorter songs. Like, dude, our manager, you know, like we were talking to him the other day, and he's like, y'all should write some like bangers, like some like 3 to 4 minute bangers. And I'm just like, Fuck, man. I mean, we'll try, but every
always-
time we try to do that, it's like up. It's 9 minutes now.
We have like a riff and then like another riff. Like somehow we have to like do all this stuff to get to the second riff, and then like, or we can just slap them together. Like I feel like we always try to add more parts.
It's because we want to make it more interesting than just
Yeah.
like a like a standard like pop song. You know,
Well,
what I
here
mean?
we are,
It
6
is
minutes
more
in, and we're not
interesting.
finished. Like, all right.
Yeah,
It is more
but I don't know.
interesting.
Like, there's also, yeah, but there's also merit to like just writing a banger, just putting out just like a sick, 4 minute, just to the point tune.
but-
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's not how you write and it's not how you produce, then it shouldn't be forced as well. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are making
If it
stuff
happens,
that
it
you like.
happens.
Yeah, that's the thing. Exactly. If it happens,
If
it
you
happens.
think
Great.
of
Otherwise,
other big prog bands, if you take like someone really big, let's say like Tesseract or someone like that, it's like they're not doing
Between the Buried
this
and Me.
kind of Between the Buried and Me, stuff like that. They're not doing this kind of marketing right now. They're still going more traditional, and they're still massive. Everyone who likes metal knows these guys. So it's
They
not
got
like
in at that
anyone
time
has
when
they
Peak
did,
of the gent scene. Yeah.
yeah, if like if you were getting into this scene and like getting notoriety in like 2008, 2009, 2010, like if you were doing it around then and you were successful then, like bands like the Contortionists, like those guys don't have online presences at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
No.
Leprous, like that, like Leprous doesn't, like those guys aren't online at all.
Like
Like
you just reach that.
none
like,
of them
you didn't have to. Like, yeah.
what's that?
Textures as well, is it? Like same kind of thing? I'm not.
Yeah. I mean
they're
like
not-
I fucking love Textures. That
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Textures are
that
amazing.
Dualism record was so good.
What was that one song with the music video by the river? And I can't remember. I was obsessed with
That
it.
was the one before the Dualism record. That was before what's his name joined the band.
Oh yeah, I think I saw
used
Textures
to
with
know.
the original singer. Actually, I remember now. Yeah, it was a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Actually, Tom, the year I met you, 2017 Tech Fest, Textures played that year. That was their final shindig. That was fucking sick as hell.
Yeah.
No, that was the year MEyou played. That was the year we decided to make a debauchery of the of the after party.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Actually, it's funny, dude.
I
Like,
did get to see
Tom
Textures
was
as well.
Oh, dude, they're fucking so good. But dude,
They're
Tom
beautiful.
actually saved, like you saved the day. Like we wouldn't have been able to even play the festival if Tom didn't fucking, because our Khan Tassan was our driver and his van like
I
broke.
remember.
And we were still like a couple hours away from the fest, and Tom fucking just like trekked out, picked our asses up, and brought us to the fest. And it was like literally like I don't think we would have made it like if Tom didn't like. So yeah, thank you again. 6 years later,
Coming in.
That was
Nice.
yeah. Did you guys get to
pleasure.
see
Yeah.
the Color Line play their last gig there as well?
Oh, don't.
I think I did catch that. Yeah,
I know Tom did.
I made a point to catch
I
as
went
many of the
solo.
bands as I possibly could. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they started smashing absolutely everything.
I
at the
tried
end.
to
That was a
watch as
hilarious
many
show.
of the bands, especially the smaller ones, as I possibly could. But it's so much going on there.
There is so much.
Mm. Yeah.
Such a fucking
No,
cool experience.
I ended up missing the color line, so you're salting the wound there because I had to go pick up Obscura. So
Yeah, you did miss the
Enjoy
Color
it.
Line. I did enjoy it. It was great. It was awesome. Yeah, I can't really remember too much, but there was so
I
many
think
good shows.
Harbinger might have opened up one of the stages or something. It had like a massive crowd. I can't remember exactly, but I wasn't there for that either.
I did catch that set as well. Chris from Harbinger gave us a ride at one point as well. So I met him that same week, and super nice dude. So I was like, stoked to watch him perform as well. And yeah, man, that was just like that whole experience. Like I need to go back. Tech Fest was so cool, and like everybody is so nice and supportive, and like everybody tries their best to fucking watch every band. And there's no shit talking going on. It's all just love, dude.
I can't wait to eventually go.
It was just a good time, man.
Yeah.
So I would love to get Lattermath out there.
Yeah.
Welcome back, I'm
You
sure.
know.
You'd be welcome back.
Hey guys, talking about Lattermath.
Yeah.
Are you
We'd
guys
have to
cool? Would you like
obviously do
to
a tour,
watch
but-
the video,
Yeah, what's
the
up?
new music video for Desolation? Show it to the
Dude, yeah,
the audience
sure,
watching.
yeah.
We cool to do that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Alright.
Absolutely.
I don't know that the video will come up too well, but we can see how it goes, man, because it's a bit glitchy on your end still.
Is it? Okay.
Little
Can you
bit.
guys hear clear?
As long as it's
Looks like it's working. Oh, I
Can you
see.
hear
it's a bit of a glitch, but yeah.
We know what it looks like.
Yeah, and the audio is still there. You know, the
Yeah.
audio isn't glitched out or anything.
If anybody wants to see it, they got to go look for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of
But yeah.
lot of
Well, you get a lot of
collabs.
photos of the. Like,
A lot of people welcome this video. Hey.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We hired a bunch of people. We had like a, VFX guy, this dude in the bathtub, homie Jake. He was the main character. And video crew, like all of it, man. Had to rent out a space. Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Director.
Was it a costly thing then?
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. We sank a decent bit into it for sure.
Yeah.
But it came out pretty good, I think. I'm pretty happy with it. It's like,
Oh yeah.
definitely the highest budget thing we've ever tried to do. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Which one of you guys is
Yeah.
doing the vocals?
Me. That's me there.
Oh, well, your vocals throughout this album is stunning. It gives me.
Oh yeah, we had to hire child actors and stuff.
Yep. Child
wow.
acting. It was really freaking cold that day.
It was like 0 degrees Fahrenheit that day. It was like,
Oof.
it's so cold, man.
Oh, you got Joseph and the chorus is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Drew's voice.
Cruiser.
Another homie from the tour, actually. Lee and Joseph. Yeah.
They're a dynamic duo, aren't they? For sure.
Yeah. Totally.
You could say that for sure.
Working already with Joseph and Lee, you've already got some good contacts and a really good, jump into.
Oh, absolutely.
this genre.
Is Killian?
Yeah, after that tour,
Yeah,
we were
man.
all like, brother.
Yep, Killian is he's the bass player.
Luja?
Yeah, he's been playing in Fallujah
Yeah.
for the last seveple months, doing a bunch of
Did AB Optic stuff?
Awesome.
Yep,
Every
he's also dude. Killian's in like every awesome band. So it's like he's just in like a bunch of awesome bands.
Yep.
Um,
Well deserved. Well,
super well deserved. He's a
Yeah.
fucking dedicated dude.
Well,
He lives and
I met
breathes
Killian.
playing bass.
sorry, I met Killian in 2014 doing Felix Martin days, so that guy's been around for a while.
Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah, man. Yeah, he played for Felix for I don't know, man. Like I want to say like a decade probably. But
oh yeah, right. Yeah.
He played for Felix for a super long time. Yeah. Yeah, when I met him, he was playing, touring pretty heavily with Felix.
I think I remember telling a story about like going to Canada and like icy roads. And he was like, "Oh, I almost died so many times." Seriously. Icy roads in Canada.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place.
Yeah, I've heard. Oh, in face. Oh,
So I must say, the audio's been good. The video's been very jumpy, but
yeah, I thought the audio chipped out a bit, but no, it's good. It's good.
I think that's probably fine.
Probably, yeah.
It's probably just because we're trying to talk over it, so it's a bit.
Might be better on your end, Jack, because it's coming from your computer. So.
Yeah, it usually comes through much clearer on your screen as well.
Okay, the silence is now it's quieter.
Now it's chilling.
Yeah.
So
Look at the
give
light
us
in the bathtub.
give us a little idea of like what we're watching here. What's the story behind the video?
I'll take it.
So yeah, we were like working with our director on just like what's the meaning of the song, and it's about just dealing with those moments of pure depression And it's also me trying to be emotionally honest, because like I tend to push people away sometimes. Like, why am I consciously isolating myself? Like when I know that's the wrong thing. That's like sort of like trying to say that feeling of like, you shouldn't be alone when you feel that way, but you just can't help feel that. And so I think we added the director actually ended up adding, like, I think it'd be cool if we went into like childhood, like, oh, like he was bullied, and so the kid you see is actually supposed to be me, or the character me in the music video.
Well, the kid who's in the guy who's in the bathtub, and the small child on the bike is him as a kid.
Who finds the key.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like trying to find freedom from your own personal prison of your mind, sort of like, like overcoming those feelings, standing up to the bully. Both metaphorically and literally,
Yeah.
with
These flashbacks to childhood where he was beat up and his bike was stolen and like kids are treating him like shit. And then he finds a key, and and then like that key is supposed to like unlock this like secret passageway to like get himself out of this like hell that he's living in or whatever. Right.
That was the original idea.
Yeah. So then
he translate, but yeah.
So then like, goes back to him in this dark place with the key in his hand, and it's actually to unlock his shackles, and
which is happening while he's standing up for himself to the bullies. And so it's like a personal freedom. He's finally free, and he sheds.
Yeah, but the whole time his demons are trying to drag him back, because like, they don't want him to like succeed. Like they want him to fucking, rot, which actually at the end of the video, it turns out he's still there, and it's just a nightmare all over again.
Or it was a dream of escaping those depression. Or like, you could believe that you're out of it, and then like, oh wait, I never left. Sort of, yeah. So which is
we spent about a year.
Metal.
We spent about a year talking about the concept before we actually did anything. So
I went through a lot of different iterations to how can we convey the meaning, synonymous with the lyrics, sort of.
It took a while from start to finish, but
yeah.
You got to put a lot of thought into what you're doing, then, right? That's why you take a little bit of time between.
Especially.
For sure.
It was like a big undertaking. I know that Braden wanted it to be longer shots and actually tell a story, and so we didn't want it to be cringy in any way. We wanted to really, I think the longer shots show that we're telling a story, and then it's actually.
It was cool because
the visual and the music is actually saying the same thing, kind of thing.
Braden Walker is the dude's name. He's he's the director and filmmaker and like the lead camera person, and just kind of does like a lot of the work. He edited it as well. And
this was his music video debut.
This was the first music video he ever did. He's done a lot of like short films and a lot of stuff like that, like very cinematic, like artistic, like stuff. He's super good. So this was the first attempt at a music video, which is why like it's kind of paced more like a show or a movie or something.
Yeah, less quick shot, like so many metals,
But that's kind of where we were, that's what we wanted it to be. Like we didn't want it to be like a fast-paced thing. We wanted it to be a story that develops,
Yeah.
So
well, great work, guys. Like clearly when I was listening to it, the production level of the whole album as well as just the songwriting, it was so crisp and clear. There's been so much work put into it. So well done for it. And right at the start of the year already, it's like what a banger to start off the music selection of the year. So great work.
That's what we were hoping for.
It's like we didn't want to we didn't want to release in December and then like, oh, it's already next year. So so I think January was actually really perfect for winter's painting, but it kind of just worked out that way. Like, oh yeah, it's like dead of winter.
That's why we just did the singles, like we did the singles October, November, December. We just like slowly put them out and
nice build up.
Just kind of planning on like waiting until the new year, because the last thing we wanted to do was like spend 5 years making a record and then put it out like December 15th
and have it like new for 1 month.
And then like 2 weeks later it's an old record all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah, and you got to contend with all the other albums of the year if you do it right at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. For sure. And Christmas albums too. Like you don't want to.
There's a lot of really great records coming out soon, like around right now. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard of a band called The World Is Quiet Here.
Oh yeah.
I have not.
Those guys are from here. Yeah.
Check them out.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
They've got a record coming out in like a week or two, and it's like super ridiculous prog, like kind of BT Bam infused, like
I was gonna say, you just showed me some more of it, and you're like, it's really, I agree with you, very, very unique vocals. Like, wow.
Yeah, their singer is crazy, dude.
Pretty blown away with just like the different stuff he's doing that I hadn't really heard other people do like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's coming out, like new Periphery pretty soon, which like first couple singles sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just not a genre. I was like,
I feel like
it.
I feel like a lot of bands are just understanding that they, like if you release a big thing in like December, like you're kind of fucking yourself, because like you're not going to end up on like album of the year lists or whatever. It's going to just people forget about it.
Yeah, I love that they chose to make a meme name for their album.
See,
it's so Periphery. Like that.
I mean, they've always done shit like
ever since Jetpack was Yes and all that. Like they've always done that.
Yeah, like they have. I don't know, like. Again, like I feel like those dudes just like, I pooped. Like I'm gonna name my song "I Pooped."
I was wondering if they like keep all their working titles. It's just the working titles, and they just stick with the working titles. That's my guess. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys.
But yeah,
we're
excited that we finally released it. It seems kind of surreal.
I want to show you.
Oh, you having audio issues?
One really cool thing. All right. All right. So I have to disclose that I am not endorsed or affiliated with these guys in any way, shape, or form. I was sent this product from my cousin this week, and I'm desperate to buy it. Oh, there's my video, but I don't want that to glitch. All right. So this is called the Picasso bow. Have you heard of this?
No.
I don't think so.
It's a guitar bow, and it's new. It's a bow for guitar.
Maybe.
Hold up.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's two-sided.
Oh, yes.
Hey everybody, it's Marcus Eaton.
How cool is that?
That's got
to be
like
music gadget of
one
the
of
year
the coolest
for me
things
so far.
that I own.
And
it's
I'm
super sick, dude.
You
I do want to try that.
string
I
stuff
wonder
with
if
this bow.
it can't be too expensive, probably.
Now it's like $80.
One string.
$80.
You can play adjacent
Rosin
strings
on
like
it,
this.
dude. Like
You do have to put rosin.
Hey, that's not bad. Yeah, you probably would put rosin on it.
Yeah, they sell rosin with
cool.
it.
Or you can do 2 strings at a time if you tip the bow.
Yeah, because there's actually some cello in this album.
Really, really useful.
So we love the
They all
sound.
sound great, and when you work with this
Yeah,
Well,
I
want to
so
try this for sure.
I play cello, but I've also got
Oh, cool.
nice.
but the violin is absolutely horrible to play because it's just so goddamn difficult. It's screechy.
Yeah.
It's literally in your face. Like it's not a good instrument for comfort.
Yeah.
You know.
So would you say the bowing part is more difficult on a violin than say a cello?
The bowing's kind of the same. It's the fact that the violin is stuck to my face, and it's like
It's like
the
right
nice.
here.
The
Yeah.
ergonomics,
and like
yeah.
you do have to really lift your shoulders more for the bowing, so your arms get tired quicker. Whereas a cello just sits comfortably in your lap. But if I could do all of this on a guitar, if I could do it on a guitar, then I can get them nice crisp highs without the torture of learning finger placement on a violin, and without the just absolute struggle of it.
Right.
Like, I can be
Melodies
comfortable
that way.
with that beautiful sound. Like, what a genius idea! And
It sounds like a big body violin or something. It's like
I was thinking that too, because we've used
crazy.
EBow in recordings in the past, but like it would be cool to have that option. Like, what if we just use the bow? Like, let's just get a sustained note in a very different way. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean,
It
obviously
sounds
it's a short bow, so you wouldn't be able to get much of a sustained legato.
Like this.
Right, that's you would kind of like get the tone and then maybe use reverb or something.
It'd be really good for like quicker lines.
Yeah,
stuff,
fast
you know,
melodic
like
arpeggios and such. It would be great for that.
Absolutely.
And like, because I heard some strings coming, I'm pretty sure it was Nye, where there's that orchestrated part, second half, which is probably why I really
Yep,
liked it
yep.
as well. When that came in, it was very calming, very relaxing. And
We wanted to have
yeah,
cello on stuff for a while, and yeah,
Right. Yeah. Our buddy Sage Edders did the
Yeah.
cello on Nye, and we were just.
oh nice.
I remember the first time we heard it, I was like, "Holy shit! This is exactly what this song needs."
we just
Like,
gave her the
Yeah.
song, and I was like, just do whatever the fuck you want, and she
I think she asked for chords, and I
Yeah.
typed them out. Yeah. That she just.
so she just she killed it, man. She did like
Another-
3 different versions of that solo, and we ended up just like picking the one that we liked the best. And
Another Berkeley buddy of ours.
yeah, man,
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
I love
to
the
hear.
sound of cello. I think cello is like the best sounding instrument in the world, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I started. It is my favorite. I used to go on about with Tom how my dream was to get a double bass, and for years that was my dream. That was the end game. And I got a cello thinking that will lead me to the double bass. So I'll work my way up. But now I'm just satisfied with the cello. A double bass is maybe a bit too much to have around.
Dude,
the
cello's
house.
just like the perfect. It's like the perfect sounding instrument. Like it works
And the
so
range
well.
wise too. Yeah. I wouldn't
Great
want.
range, yeah.
Double bass sounds great, but I mean, it's freaking huge and probably super expensive, I'm sure.
Like you're saying about
Yeah,
violin
super
earlier, it's like
expensive.
screechy. Like violin is like hard to hear sometimes. Like, but cello is just
Yeah.
like the perfect.
It's actually really
know.
kind of easy to learn cello if you've played guitar as well. They're very similar in finger positions. And the spacing of the fingers is like the exact same for frets on a guitar. So your fingers are almost already programmed to play it. You just have to learn new shapes and patterns, which isn't that hard. So it was a really smooth transition. But
for me, the bowing is
like,
difficult. It just like the bowing feels
that
really
does
awkward
take
to me.
time.
But
yeah, I mean, a good bow makes a lot of difference. If you're using a bad bow, it's just harder to use. Getting good rosin makes a difference, and having a lot of practice, But like, it's got the limitation. I mean, an electric cello would be great, but compared to a guitar has so much more dynamic, and you can mess with the sound of a guitar more. Whereas cello, you go for that natural sound, and then the range on a guitar is so easy to reach, it's accessible, whereas highs on a cello is difficult to get to. It's it hurts your fingers for a long time, and it does take a lot of work. But
I can see
it's cool hearing it, especially bringing it into a metal album as well. It's not too often you hear
who I mean, obviously you guys know Leprous.
Yeah.
But Raphael, the dude who plays all the cello for Leprous, is like, I don't know if you've watched him like any of his just solo videos of him. Just dude, he's like a fucking alien. The dude's so good.
Amazing sounds.
It's like crazy.
It's
like
got that awesome cavernous reverb, and he's just kind of just doing this eerie. Oh yeah.
Dude can just fucking play anything on that instrument. It's wild, and he's so goddamn good at it. But yeah, cello's great, man. It's definitely like
ethereal sounds in the prog elements you want with that, definitely.
Yeah, Sarah upstairs has a cello, so like I've played them a little bit here and there and tried to figure it out, and like it's just the bowing, man. Like if I really sat down and practiced for 10, 11 years.
No, for years I wanted to learn cello. I just never did. I stuck with buying guitars.
Yeah. I mean,
we want to potentially.
It's like they all have their own difficulties because with guitar you have to worry more about the left hand. You have to learn how to build chords. You have to learn way more shapes on the left hand than you would on a cello. And then cello is more right hand, where you got to learn the bow and all the different techniques which come with it. So it's putting your focus in a different way. I guess it's kind of like finger picking, if you're doing that finger picking play style, which some people
and learning the fretless vibrato thing.
Some people are really good. Even like you see in metal a lot, like nowadays people do tapping, like so much tapping, where they're like tapping with eight fingers, just going absolutely hard out. Yeah, exactly.
He's the tapper. I can't tap for shit.
I can't tap for shit, bro. Yeah, I'm the same. Tapping just
I can do it, but It's like my least favorite technique to use, to be honest with you. Like
Yeah.
I had to do so much of it playing Sarah's music because like she's all two
Don't you
hand
have
tapping.
a crazy
Like-
tapping thing in Waking Life?
Yeah, that's
Oh
the
yeah, that's
only-
yeah.
There's like one tapping part.
Mm.
Um,
I mean, I like tapping. It
yeah, I
just
don't know. It's
depends
not my
on
favorite
stuff.
technique.
I don't like trying to learn it.
Yeah,
It's
it has
always
its
been something I
place.
didn't like.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does. Like
I like
you know,
doing
when
it here and there, but doing
Yeah.
too much of it.
yeah, it can be like overkilled, especially like in symphonic metal where it's
Yeah.
just constantly it's a bit over the top. But then you listen to
Nothing
like
but-
Yvette Young or Chon, you know, Sarah Longfield, Cliffia. That style
Yeah.
is dope, and I really do like that.
Yeah, it's done tastefully in a way that makes sense, and it,
Yeah.
like they're not just doing it to show off; they're doing it to make the parts that they're playing kind of just more interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you mentioned Polyphia. I've been blown away. It's like it's cool to have people that can show you like guitar looks completely different to me now. People doing shit like that. I'm like, what is that? Just all the clicks and I'm like, wow.
Is anyone
I don't know. Yeah, it's just
unprocessed in all of this? Unprocessed?
What did you say? Sorry.
Unprocessed?
Is that an
Like,
artist?
I don't think I've looked.
It sounds familiar,
I don't think
actually.
I've
I think
heard
it probably is in my Apple Music. I always forget to listen to stuff that I add.
I would definitely look into that. That guy's playing is just unreal. Like especially over the last few years. Like I drove Neck Silver on a tour in 2018, and we ended up meeting them along the way, and it was just mental, absolutely mental. Just seeing him put gent stuff on like he was literally putting gent videos up online and being like, look at this riff, and then just seeing him come along all that way is just mad from a solo project to having 3 guitarists that are really necessary is pretty crazy.
Oh, they have
Nice.
They have
Unprocessed
3.
gold at 2022. I'll add that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's it.
Or unless you had an album recommendation, like I'll just check it out anyway.
Yeah. Just that one and the previous one were ones that really stuck out for me, like in his progression.
I always usually do that. I start with the latest album and kind of go backwards. I don't know. I'm like a production freak. I just love the sound of the new.
You'd hear some serious difference from the very beginning of like, I think originally it was instrumental stuff because it was just him. He hadn't found his voice yet, and then like he's just built it. It's really great.
Oh,
Yo,
that's
guys,
good to hear.
give us like a recommendation based on what inspired Lattermath, or in particular the new album. Who really inspired that album for you guys?
What inspired this album? Like
I don't know. I think like just kind of the mix of our styles, like over the years, it just sort of became this because like I kind of came from more of a post-hardcore into metalcore sort of background, and Eli came from more of what, like
it was just like grunge, new metal, then Tool, and then prog metal, like Kill Switch. But then I started getting into the more specific, like
so I guess
Carnival,
but
there was a long time.
The stuff I was doing and the stuff he was doing, we kind of just put that together, and like over the years, we've just sort of tried our best to make like the best combination of that we possibly could, and I think that was really kind of like the main.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm totally obsessed with Opeth. Like, I think that comes out in this album more than the first one.
I think you can probably.
And we're both obsessed with Contortionist.
Contortionist.
Yeah, we're both obsessed with Contortionist as well. We're both obsessed.
Yeah.
Those guys are just fucking awesome, man. And Leprous too. They're like one of my favorites right now as
Big
well.
time.
They're really fucking sick. And
BT Bam.
I've always been a fan. And
the Scar Symmetry was like you grew up with those.
Scar Symmetry was another one that I got super into just because of the songwriting, man. It's like so powerful.
Yeah.
Like very to the point, but
punishing.
Just,
yeah.
Yeah. Was that the question you asked? I don't even.
So that was like just the musical side, but then like I think I wanted it to be emotionally honest as possible, to try to be relatable in that way and just have meaningful lyrics by just trying to just be something that people can find cathartic and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think it's good
or they
to
can
not be
like throw it out the window.
Or they can just throw it out the window. I don't give a shit. Like, no, I give a shit.
yeah. I think it's good to not be like aiming for any particular sound like super specifically. So it's good to just get a couple of people together that want some good music to come out of it, and then you just create between you, and then you know you can just you can gain so much from that.
Yeah, that's always been, I think, why we stuck with prog metal too. Is we're trying to find something that hasn't really been done yet. You know, it's like we're just trying to keep going forward, natural evolution, and try to hear something that we haven't heard before.
Cultivate our own kind of fucking thing, and just sort of like keep pushing it as far as we can. Like, we're not really interested in like, you know, being in one genre or one area. Like, we'll do whatever we want.
Like, I think we're starting to think about like, we like the art rock stuff and surreal sounds, and that's how that kind of glues together with prog metal as well, and we just want to explore all that.
I'm just gonna keep on pushing it and just kind of see what happens. Like, we've already got a bunch of new music written because we're fucking assholes, and
we don't ever want to have this big of a gap between releases.
We want to put stuff out like every 6 months.
So we were thinking of maybe a little smaller next time, but not a huge.
Yeah, even if it is just
5-minute album.
Yeah. Just keeps you like relevant in the scene. Just make sure that your name is constantly popping up. Bring back,
dude.
Exactly.
Yo, it's Lattermath. Oh yeah, helps you.
Oh, they're back. Yeah. Especially now, I feel like people are less patient. There's a lot more bands releasing a lot more often. So people I think we just need to do less more often. Yeah, like here's a few songs. It's kind of
becoming the age of the EP and less of a time of albums, because, like I said earlier as well, people don't have the attention span to sit through. If you bust out a mega 5-hour prog album, no one's listening to it, you know. Whereas if you bust out a bunch of 25, you could make enough half-hour albums to last 5 hours. You're gonna get a lot more people listen through all of that.
I mean, dude, like Winter Painting is like an hour 5, something like that. And
we were doubting ourselves sometimes, like, this is so long and it's taking so long to finish. It's like never again. We had to do less more often. You know.
Like, Winter's Painting could have been 3 EPs if we wanted it to be, probably.
We just had a lot of music that we wanted to show people, and
like, we felt like those songs all had to be together for whatever reason. So it's like, God damn it. So now we're just I think we're going to take it easy. I think, you know, the idea of writing an EP is very nice, because it's a lot less time consuming to make like 4 songs than it is to make like 12 or 11.
Absolutely.
Well, for a prog band, you could be like 2 songs. You know, you just do a 2 songs.
Right. Like 2 11-minute songs. I guess
that would be like longer than most bands' like normal EP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contortionist kind of did that with that Bones. What was it?
Yeah, like
Our Bones.
Yeah, the Our Bones.
Yeah. It's like 3 or 4 songs. And I think a cover. Yeah,
those songs are definitely like pretty poppy on that EP, which is very sick. Poppy. Like, they're
but also like got that proggy, like not super heavy, but like
and also their Smashing Pumpkins cover is better than the actual song.
Oh yeah, shots fired. I like them both, definitely. Yeah, like I was. I loved Smashing Pumpkins back in the day. Like,
Michael Lassard's voice on that song is just fucking great.
Oh, definitely.
You know what? Michael Lassard with Last Chance to Reason. I'm going to call this out for like however many a time this is. But I said before Jonathan left, I was like, if anyone's going to take his place, it'll be him. Lo and behold, he leaves, and there he goes. I was like, I called it.
There it is.
What a
dude! The fucking way she goes.
I remember, I knew, like, I had known Last Chance to Reason way back in the day. Like, like one of my really old bands played a couple of shows with those guys in New England. Like, fuck, I don't know, 15 years ago, probably.
When they were like a math band.
Yeah, like 15, 16 years ago. It was like before Mike Lassard joined the band. It was the other guy that they had, and the guy with the big beard.
Okay.
Fucking yeah, man. I never really talked to those guys, but played a couple shows with them, and they were always like crazy, fucking jazzy, techie, weird
Yeah.
video game metal. And then yeah, man, it was cool to see Lassard, filling in for Contortionist like years later, and then was like the guy. I was pretty hyped on that because like being a earlier Last Chance to Reason fan and getting into that one album he did. Did he do one or two with them? I don't even remember.
He did two. He just level 2 and level 3.
Yeah.
They have level 4.
I think I really only listened to 2. I don't think I ever got into level 3, but
it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
I
sick.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
And who was drumming for them? Was it Evan Salmons? Is that who that was? I think.
I don't know, man. Like I couldn't even follow it all back then. I heard the voice and I called that and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I did the thing. We got to shout out the Pax Cecilia. If you like prog, you've got to check out the Pax Cecilia. It's got to be.
How do you spell that?
Gorgeous.
PAX.
The PAX Cecilia, CECILIA.
All right, so like the old lady's name Cecilia, and then Pax.
Yeah,
like
like
a vape.
Is it?
like,
I guess
it's weird classical proggy math avant-garde thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
quite old.
We'd
now,
probably dig it then.
It's just stunning. It's beautiful. It's heart-wrenching.
Kind of,
you guys,
I'm interested.
have you guys listened to this band? They're not much more well known than we are, so they're like fucking small. They're called Ambro Type.
No.
Have you peeped that shit yet? These guys are like making this really ethereal like prog music. Like they started off like doing like very Opethy stuff, but like this new shit they're putting out is like it's some of the craziest
Next level.
It's some of the craziest stuff I've ever heard in my life. It's like
so lush with
it's
like
just so cool, man.
amazing. Yeah, they're recently moved to the Netherlands, but they're from Syria. And
I think the singer's like a Syrian refugee or something.
Yeah, I think they were actually like persecuted for their love of metal, and like religious extremists saw them as like Satan worshippers and ran them out of town. Literally, like said they're like, "We'll kill you." And their parents said, "You got to leave. Like, you got to get out of here." Like, I read the whole article. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
plus, he's like boys with the singer now.
I talked to him on Instagram now. Just like I wanted to tell you guys how fucking amazing your album is. Like, I want big things for you guys. And I'd love to just like tour.
It's like
it's in Europe.
It's amazing fucking music. It's like very strange, dude. Like there's how many singles are out like now for the new stuff? Like 5?
4, I think. Yeah. Well, it's 3, and then the EP is just one 15-minute song or something like that.
And they're getting like almost like no listens, dude. It's sad. Like it fucking sucks.
Wow, well,
yeah, it's like
we'll give it.
I think but they're going to start playing shows. Like I'm optimistic for them because
that'd be cool.
It hasn't been done yet. I'm like, wow, this is new. Okay, so they have found something here.
Yeah.
Always special. Like, do you guys know the Painted in Exile?
Yeah.
I actually did a show with them once for the bassist.
He filled in on vocals for them once
for his recital for graduating Berkeley.
It was after Rob wasn't in the band anymore, and they needed a new singer, and they were doing this.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Jake Umansky.
Jake, the bassist, like he was graduating from Berkeley and doing like his senior ensemble. So Eli filled in.
Wasn't Jacob doing intervals bass as well at one point?
Yeah. He's in intervals. But Ivan from Pain and Exile, he and I go back many years at this point, dude. And Mark as well. Mark and I have known that dude for a million years. Dude, all those dudes are like they're all doing like separate really cool things now too. Like
Ivan's doing really well with the Bossy and everything. That's so cool.
Like Eddie's in a band, like a super heavy band called Monochromatic Black. They're like deathcore, and
they're great,
pretty dope. Cool. And then man, everybody's fucking. It's kind of a shame because Pain and Exile is sick, Like that album they did was
I know.
like, ridiculous.
That
And then
EP was incredible.
yeah, and then they just imploded, and now they're all
Was there
doing-
2 releases? I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
it was incredible.
3
Yeah.
track and the album.
Yep.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, man. Fucking
That album's like 7 years old now. Jeez.
it's pretty old.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. It makes me
Pretty
feel
old.
just those like back in the day. Yeah.
Yep. It's like our
Yeah.
first record was March 2017, so that was, fucking
Right. Yeah.
I was in my 20s, dude. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Took like 5.5
Time.
years. Yeah, I know. That's why I think we were just so relieved to finally release this album, just because we were just so different sonically than that first album was. Like I think that we were cranking out obsessing over Periphery 2 and just Gent in general in album 1, and now I don't even think that we would consider ourselves a gent band now, not even remotely,
Not even a little bit.
post gent. I don't even like the word, but it's just prog metal.
It
now.
literally makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
Like when I use that word in a sentence, it makes me feel.
I know. I
like-
cringe when I say it.
I didn't like that at all.
Derek,
Gent, dude.
Derek, say it. Say it, Derek.
Yeah.
Gent, bro.
Jen.
Or Jews he called it thol, right?
Well, that's like a
Oh,
different
yeah,
thing
that's
entirely.
different?
Thol- yeah,
Thol's
Thol's
different.
like
See, I don't fucking.
yeah.
It is. Yes. Yeah. I thought it was synonymous.
There's like a Thol cult,
When you go
Yeah.
Thol.
Yeah, I love Thor. Thor is
blame, like Viljarta and
Bill Jar is the best.
So you specifically have to have an 8-string to thol, probably. Then you can't do
need
a
an
thol.
8-string to Thor, yeah.
You don't need
You
an
know, like a-
eight-string.
But you could
Nah,
beat
look at
tune.
baritone, like a baritone 6, or
Yeah. Yeah, it just won't hit.
It's,
It's
something.
subjective. We don't really know. Yeah.
you can do whatever you want.
It's true.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want with whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
And call
So-
it whatever you want.
Yeah, like I did have this kick with Tom, and I spoke about this in an episode before. I did detune my cello before and try to cover Viljarta, Shadow, and it was really ridiculously hard to try and transcribe the sheet music for Viljarta.
Did it work out for you though?
Like,
Like, were you able to
it-
get it?
It kind of
recording.
does work. The genty part is the hard part on a cello, especially with a bow. That didn't quite work, but you could definitely do the glitchy parts and the
quick
high riffs.
changes.
Yeah, the quickness, because you can easily get the smooth legato with easy, because you get the slurs on the bow. You don't have to alternate pick or economic picking. So you can actually do some of them fast melodic stuff on a different instrument as well, which was quite cool. It just sounded really different, kind of more eerie but less intense.
Yeah. I think those instruments are if you tune down a cello, like your cello's probably thinking what the fuck is happening to me right now?
Yeah,
It's like, what is this?
it's not the easiest instrument to drop tune as well, so it was a bit of fighting to get
Is
it
it-
into this.
Is it like a violin? Is it built in fifths each, like a traditional the way you
Yeah.
tune a cello?
Yeah, it
like-
is. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Got it.
Difference is cello is way nicer than a violin. A violin is like a backwards bass where the thick string is the G, and it'll go G, D, A, E. And the highest pitch string is A. E
Got
string. And then with a cello, it actually starts the bass string as a C. So that it just makes it so
Oh.
easier for writing and jamming with others, learning shapes, because it's C, G, D, A.
Yeah.
So when you detuned it, did you go up with the C? Oh, yeah.
No, I drop
So you-
tuned it massively.
No.
Massively.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what, maybe an F
See, the
sharp
cello would be like,
or
"Whoa."
something. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I basically took it near enough as low as it would go, still being able to produce a tone.
I
And
bet
you
that
get that
sounded
nice,
awesome and dark.
It was nice and dark. Yeah, it had that nice bass string wobble that you get when you detune basses too low, and you just
just
see them just flopping. Yeah. So I managed to get that, which was quite funny.
Go any lower and it's just farts.
Yeah, that made me
It
think
is
about
just
when we
farts,
did our
yeah. Yeah.
When we did
Tom
our first
has a
music video for Trench, we had Killian tune his bass down when we did slow mo, so you just really see
Oh
it
right,
wagging
yeah.
around
I was
that.
like, what the fuck is he talking about? Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it ties into what we're talking about.
Yeah, we fucking. I was like, why are you bringing that up? It's weird. And then yeah, but yeah, we detuned his low string like a ton. So
While he was in slow mo, so
we
he
shoot
really
it like like 60 frames per second, and then he just like the string is like rub.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's sick. Yes.
I don't know if
Sounds like
I don't know if you
Barstow.
guys have seen
Yeah.
it, but there's this one video from Buried Alive where his girlfriend's playing the bass, and the bass wobble is so unbelievably large that you just can't really understand how she's actually gonna be playing a melody over that bass and get a clear tone. It's just
I feel like I've seen that on Instagram. I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be like a just. I don't know. Like maybe it's just like a super fast camera. Like it's a really fast.
That's
That could
true. It
be.
could be.
Like it's just
But
like
a lot of playthroughs are just play alongs. I mean, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but
No,
yeah,
true.
it's possible.
True,
well, it's
yeah.
definitely a play along.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
There's
yeah.
absolutely no doubt in my mind that it's a fucking play
So
along.
they might have just tuned it
is a
down because it
play
looks
along
cool.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
so-
course. Everything that fucking dude is involved in is miming. Like
Yeah.
he never does like real videos. Not to talk shit, but
All I like the
No,
robot
I
sound.
get you. I get you. I get
Like,
you.
oh yeah, that's awesome.
A lot of it is
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
how
no, I
can we
think it's-
make this look really impressive?
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's just reamp MIDI.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
idea of editing guitar like crazy like that, like making it sound like a robot. It's awesome. Yeah.
Just taking a
It
MIDI
is
track
like-
and running it through.
Reflections EP they did with the Buster and that from Viljata was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never actually
Remember.
listened to any of it. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
I'll have to check
I
that
reckon-
out. I have a long list. A lot of good releases. Actually, I gotta catch up on the prog and metal.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fuck, man. Like you mentioned Buster, and he just did the Grey Lotus record,
Yeah.
which is fucking
He
ridiculous.
did the Reflections EP they did not that long ago. So yeah, I do recommend that. It's really weird. Like if you think Viljata's weird, it's like Viljata on speed, I guess. Like it's just
Phil Jada's
weird.
not weird.
and glitchy.
What are you on about? Phil Jada's not weird. What are you on about, bro?
No,
Jar is normal. It's just
Yeah,
normal
Phil Jada
radio
is
rock.
like-
it's
Yeah.
full. I'm sorry.
Totally
I'm sorry,
regular.
it's
This is-
full.
No, it's pretty unique. I mean, like they are the only ones that sound like that, in my opinion. Like it's just like almost like some microtonal shit that they're doing with their bending. That's like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
they are the it's
only
just-
What's that dude's other band though? Humanity's Last Breath. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his other band, right?
But they don't
Yeah.
sound
Yeah,
the
they're
same.
fucking-
They don't sound the same. They're different.
But
No, totally different.
In Viljata, Buster does the production and the drums. But in Humanity's Last Breath, he plays guitar, but his guitar's upside down.
Interesting.
What? His
Interesting.
guitar's upside
Yeah,
down.
his good he's left-handed, but didn't want to get a left-handed guitar or couldn't afford one at the time, and then
Okay.
He's
found
playing-
that way of
yeah.
playing
So
that.
he's doing
like
He's
so the
doing like
heavy
the
is like
Hendrix thing.
opposite.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
nice.
I've known a couple guys that have played like that. It's fucking bizarre to look at, but when they can do it, they can do it.
Polymath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polymath is really weird one from the UK. Does a
Oh, do
similar
they do
thing.
it?
Really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll check that one out. I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
I got. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say. Have you guys
I
heard
was-
of Oh, no, sorry. You go ahead. Yeah. We have a
I'm
latency
sorry,
thing going on.
no, yeah. No,
Say the fucking thing,
go,
dude.
please.
Oh, okay. Have you guys heard of Vulcan with a K, or is it Vulcan?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Vulcan.
Yeah, I know
Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just been loving the
think-
newest release, Technatura. Just blew my mind. And Wheel also has been a recent love of mine. I think we both. I showed you Wheel. You showed me Vulcan. I was like, yeah, this is both. Awesome.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're talking
Fucking
about me,
awesome.
yeah.
And Ambrotype. But yeah, in terms of new prog that we've been checking out, like yeah,
There's a lot of sick bands out there, man.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious about
No
Persephone,
question.
Persephone, Atena, Marathon, Feather Mountain. I have this huge list I have to check out.
He's
Persephone's
the
good one,
fucking
I know.
I nerd out on prog.
Yeah, like he's the one fucking stacking up all these bands to check out all the time, and I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah, I
That's
just want to
sick.
hear something new. I can think of the,
Yeah, I don't keep up on shit nearly as well.
It's a conscious decision. Like I won't listen to anything for like half a year, and then I force myself to try to find something new. Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
I don't stick to one genre. I like to mix it up. So like the whole past week, pretty much 2 weeks, I've only really listened to like Spanish music and just like really upbeat, yada yada da 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 kind of stuff, you know, like just getting me in a real just
That's a
getting me
good
in
idea.
like,
I need to
yeah,
step out of
I just
prog.
want to like be in a
What kind
real
of prog?
buzzy, upbeat kind of jamming mood, you know.
Yeah,
So
man,
I'll
it's
mix
kind
it
of
up
it's
quite
cool
a
to do
lot.
that.
It is, yeah.
It's cool to do
It
that
keeps it
sometimes.
fresh.
I spent some
But
time in Mexico City like years back, and I listened to just like fucking Mexican music for like a week or two, and dude, like I came out of it like with different inspiration. I was like ready to make more stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's totally
Yeah.
different direction. Yeah.
It is.
That makes sense.
It is. And a lot of that like flamenco music is just brilliant. It really is. And
Yeah,
it's
dude,
always
it's
good
ridiculous.
vibes.
Yeah.
So it like a lot of metal can be seen, like a lot of it can be seen as similar to classical. Um it's got a lot of similar elements, but I'd quite like to see a fusion, you know, flamenco metal.
Totally agree on that.
I mean, like Felix Martin kind of has that going.
Yeah,
You know,
it would be
there's a
cool
few
if there
people
was
who
more
do.
to it, though. You know,
Yeah,
he does
for
like the
sure.
instrumental thing, like if there was more to it, you know, that could be a really cool combo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of like metal and classical being to like sort of synonymous, I totally agree on that. And like that's what I always loved about Opeth, that I make it feel like they're like the perfect metal classical thing. And now they're like incorporating like 70s prog in that whole vibe. And I'm just here for all of it. I love it. I love
think
like
with
all of their albums.
Opeth, they just make it so that you can see how clearly how similar they actually are in genres. They just make it so you can see it. Whereas other bands, it's you have to really look into the music to understand how it's similar.
Totally.
But overall, like a lot of it is very, very similar. The structure and the songwriting, which is why I love them both as genres. Actually, I'm a big fan of both classical and metal. I can't say I do. I used to, especially. I used to listen to a lot of prog. I guess you can call the odious prog, which are pretty much my favorite band.
Definitely prog.
Yeah, like prog tech death, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Less proggy, more tech death, but still prog. Zenith Passage, I got into massive at the
Oh yeah, we love that shit too.
Yeah, that is just like so unique.
Choppy, like
yeah. I think the good thing with prog is when you've got bands so unique that when you hear it come on, you instantly recognize who they are, and it brings you this kind of a new emotion in a way, or brings you back to an emotion. So whenever I listen,
the signature sound.
Yeah, you know, like just on like just completely recognizable. You couldn't distinguish it from someone else. Yeah, and
totally.
That's that obviously takes a lot of work to get to that point anyway, to even be
I think it just comes down to just playing with the same people for a long time and just kind of
getting that, developing the vision and just what you sound like together, right?
Like a band is always going to sound a lot different when they first start than 10 years later when they've made music together for a decade. It's just bound to.
It's true, because you got the songwriting and then you also have each individual performer and how they actually attack it. You know, and so that's what you sound like as a band, as opposed to just how you write. It's all
like musicians change over time too. It's like I have a different playing style now than I did 10 years ago. So
personal maturity is
playing style and
yeah, totally.
So it's
are you guys fans of? Are you guys fans of like more jazz prog, like let's say like Guthrie Govan, stuff like that? Are you into that?
I just learned a Guthrie solo the other day. Actually. But yeah, man, I really like Guthrie Govan. I haven't really listened to much else he's done other than that Erotic Cakes record, to be honest.
Great record,
I know
epic album.
Like I know he's like in several different projects and stuff, but
that one record was pretty much it.
was gonna say I love the Bad Plus, great jazz trio.
Yeah.
They're fucking
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Because there's so like I really enjoy especially in metal prog albums where they bring that jazz prog influence into it, and you hear that crossover. Because I find metal and jazz are kind of conflicting and quite difficult to intertwine into this into one song, and so I find it very clever when they're able to do that transition.
But
I think someone with Sugar's atonal stuff they have some jazz elements. I wouldn't call them jazzy, but it's there. The jazz is there.
Wait, did you say Sugar?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Just like the way Frederick goes about his phrasing and stuff, it's all very chromatic.
Chromaticism.
It's not really what I would call jazzy as much as just
specifically atonal jazz.
You know, like atonal.
Crazy, yeah.
But that sort of, I think that opened the doors for other people in a way. Like he was doing that.
They talk about jazz a lot.
He was doing that in like the late 90s, early 2000s on like heavy music, you know, playing really weird stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, they more mentioned it in their interviews, like they're very jazz influenced, but it might not have come across.
I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about anyway. So
jazz. No, but I was thinking that Sanjay was on here like I don't know, a month or two ago, and he was literally saying to us like, "Here you go. Here's
he did the 2-5-1-6 progression." Yeah, he was.
yeah.
It was still
Sanjay Kumar.
Sanjay Kumar.
Yeah. He's a fucking monster player.
He's a demon.
Like that. That dude's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was really cool, and it was actually a nice, clear explanation as how he was doing it. But still, it's easier to explain it or try and understand the concept than to actually pull it off in songwriting.
I think it's all there. I think all the tools are very much there and clear. As soon as someone goes, "Oh, just break the riff down, stop showing it as a chord, as like and just mess around with that, and don't like play the chord out. Don't just run up the board and fuck with it more. That's all it is. Just take the chord, break it down, mess with it.
Yeah,
you got tech death."
Pretty much, yeah.
Just
like arpeggiate it and play it fast.
Yeah.
Yes. Fluff beats.
Learn how to
more or
sleep.
less. Yeah.
Make sure you slap.
Hey guys, it's been great to have you on, but I feel like it's a good time to end this now. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Show. No, it's been wonderful.
Dude, it was fun chatting and stuff and
smoking.
Tom, it was good to see you again, dude. It's been a hot minute. So
I hope for the both.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, for you guys too. I hope for the both of you that you're able to get to Europe and pull off that tour that you guys are hoping for. Get to play with all the big bands, and hopefully Lattermath starts to really pick up with whichever way.
It would be cool, man.
Yeah, we just want to get new listeners and then open for Leprous. That's no big deal.
Easy.
Yeah. We'll
just
send
step 1, step 2.
We'll send Leprous a message and let them know. We'll say, "Hey guys,
they're super cool guys too." So,
yeah,
I mean,
totally.
But
I'm
dude,
sure.
Awesome chatting with you guys. Real.
Yeah, great chat.
Yeah,
thanks for having us on.
And
I know we keep on interrupting each other because of all the delays, but sorry about that.
It's like a little bit. Yeah.
But
All right, well, you guys have a lovely night or day, whatever time zone you're in. And
it is like the afternoon.
It's morning for me, but night for Tom. Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, and thank you.
Good afternoon, night, and good morning.
Thanks to all the listeners for tuning in. Have a good one.
Take it easy.
Thanks.